Okay. So as far as these presentations are concerned, according to my records, everyone that wanted to present in front of the class has done so, which means for the remainder of you, no problem. But you need to find me sometime, your flex time, when I'm also free. The schedule, this annoyingly colored thing that is on my webpage shows you when I'm available. Anytime there's a green or an orange or a dark blue, green or orange or dark blue, that's me available. And I'm available a lot. So come find me, no problem. Present it just to me, awesome. As Xfinity says, simple, easy, awesome. And by the way, what's the difference between simple and easy? You know the answer?
No.
What is the difference between simple and easy?
Okay,
The same thing.
Simple is that it's not hard to figure out. Easy is easier to execute.
Oh,
That's at least how I do it.
well, you know what's not simple and easy? That explanation.
No.
Jeffrey's not here. Where's Jeffrey?
Wait, Joe.
Bailey's not here. Where's Bailey? Andrew's not here. Where's Andrew? Okay. We've already seen this, I know. No problem.
Look at their weird mouths.
There's a big mouth energy. Okay, we've already seen this.
More concerned with the shape of their head.
I wanted to just revisit this just to make sure there's no questions as far as what does ascribed status mean? What is solidarity or in-group marriage? And everyone understand it? You get it? Will you put your phone away? Okay, so we get it. Okay, very good. Then we can move on. Has anyone ever heard of something called affirmative action? Does that sound familiar to you?
Yeah, affirmative action is like you've done something and you like discipline, like
No.
like you said, the discipline plan.
I know what you're talking about. The word discipline is in there, but that's not what affirmative action is. Okay, that's fine. So let's just say that, and this is true for many of you in this room right now, that in just a couple years, you'll be off to college, right? So you're applying to, let's just make it up, let's just say you're going to the University of Michigan, okay? So here you are from a relatively small town which is a suburb, it's a tier 3 suburb of the Twin Cities area, relatively affluent, I'm not saying rich, but this is sure not downtown Detroit. Relatively safe. The school is clean. You have access to technology. You've got advantages by being in this building. I know it doesn't seem like it all the time, but you do. And let's just say you have a 3.5 GPA and you're in a sport or two, you're in play, you're active, you have a job, you're not a juvenile delinquent, you're a good person, so you apply. And you fill out the resume, you fill out the application to University of Michigan, and you're waiting for them to accept it. And you learn that the University of Michigan accepts, now I don't know how you would know this is not public knowledge, but let's just pretend that somehow you found out, that they accepted a student with a lower GPA than you, not in any sports, and they accepted that kid over you. You want to know why. Why? I'm involved in more things. I have a higher GPA. Why would I not be accepted versus that kid? And, right. So what the school says is, well, we want a campus that reflects America. And part of the education at the University of Michigan, and by the way, other places too, is exposure to other cultures, exposure to other ways of thinking, exposure to other people. If you just take a bunch of white people and transplant them from here to here, you're not learning anything. I mean, you're learning what's in the books, but you're not learning about life and being exposed to people who think differently than you. And that's part of the point of the University of Michigan. And so we have this pool of we have this number of openings the freshman class, and let's just say University of Michigan, I don't think it's this big, but let's just say they accept 5,000 people. 5,000. Well, we have a pool that we need to have at least this many African American, Hispanic, Asian, half should be female. Okay? Fair? Do you think?
No.
I mean, that makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. There are others that say it's not fair at all. That acceptance to a university should be based on given criteria, and that's it. Just something to keep in mind. Maybe that kid came from downtown Detroit where they can't have football because football is too dangerous. There's too much gang activity after school, and so they don't even have a football team. And maybe that kid doesn't have as good of grades because the school is crap. Right, here's a great example of kind of what I'm talking about. So ACT question that goes something like this. Identify the proper order of these items. Okay?
I hate those ones.
Cup, saucer, table. Cup, saucer, table, right? And what they found, this is pretty old, but it's fascinating stuff. What they found that African Americans got that question wrong, like most of the time. And so it looks like, well, they're dumber. They don't. And African Americans would say, like, what's a saucer?
Where's the saucer?
It's a little plate that you put the cup on. So you put the cup on the saucer, which goes on the
When you're
table.
drinking?
But African American, yeah. So, you take your tea
Oh, that's called a,
saucer.
no.
Take it back.
What's the other word for it?
Coaster?
Coaster. It's a coaster.
Okay, I would have gotten it wrong. Okay. But you see, my point, though, is that African Americans disproportionately poorer. Yeah, for coasters. Oh, no, a coaster is different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a saucer. You're wrong. Take it back.
I know what
Bring it
he's
back.
thinking though.
Yes or no? Okay, so that's not a fair question. So the reason that person got it wrong is not because they're dumb. By the way, I want to make sure you understand something, and that is this. There's a difference between knowledge and intelligence. Knowledge and intelligence are two different things. You might not know something, but that doesn't mean you're dumb. You just don't know, right? I open up a car engine, and yep, look at that. I'm not dumb, I'm just ignorant. I don't have knowledge about car engines. It doesn't mean I'm dumb, right? You're not dumb. Don't let anyone ever tell you you're dumb. No, you're not. Okay? Remember, P-O-T-T-E-R. Okay. Let's try and figure out the perspective of this person as far as affirmative action. Again, remember, affirmative action is when a school takes race or gender into consideration for acceptance to
Is that here?
their school.
We did that here.
When you say here, what do you mean?
Somerset High School.
No. Somerset High School is a public high school, takes all.
Oh, wow.
And unless you're open enrollment, then that's a different story. Then the school has the right to pick and choose. But if you live in the school district, you are guaranteed a shot at this school.
What was the definition for affirmative?
Right. Affirmative action is when a public institution takes race into consideration. It could be a school like the University of Minnesota or whatever, but it also could be a company that has a contract to build something for the government, right? So a company that builds tanks, for example. They have to prove to the government, look, we employ people, right? If you're a mom and pop shop and you sell coffee, you're not subject to this. You're a private company. You can hire who you want. You can hire your daughters, right? They all look alike. They're all white. And black people come in for coffee and it's all white girls working. Racist! Well, no, they're my daughters, right? I want them to have a job. That's not racist, right? Okay. All right, well, so let's see what this person has to say. So here she is. So she's obviously a black female. I survived life on welfare and food stamps in a poor, crime-ridden neighborhood with crumbling schools filled with guns and drugs, in a world that rewards rich white men. So now affirmative action will help me into college. And the white sniveling brat says, that's so unfair, right? But look at the life she's had to deal with. And she gets in and he doesn't. And this kid who probably went to some nice suburban high school, very safe, and he's complaining that she's in? That's your problem? There might be some other more worthy recipients of your anger. On the other hand, there is this perspective. I want to make sure that you understand that you don't have to automatically think affirmative action is good, because in a way, it's fighting racism with racism. It's creating favoritism. In a way, you could argue that two wrongs don't make a right. So it's not fair. Again, let's just look at this political cartoon and let's just see if we can kind of figure out what's going on. So let's take a look. There's the white kid and the black kid, and the black kid has all gray on, and for some reason he's shackled and he's got a ball and doesn't have shoes on. And the white kid says, "This is for your own good," as he's trying to climb up. This is where you want to be. On this, for some reason, you want to be up there. That's the goal. And how is the white kid getting up there? By stepping on the black kid, right? Even stepping right off him. And look how in shape the white kid is. He's really struggling. And look, the black kid's saying he doesn't like it very much. But there's nothing he can do because he's in chains. Okay? Who, says the white kid, who thinks he got up there? Right? And the black guy, look, the chains are no longer on. Enough's enough, I'm getting up. Then the white kid says, I'm real sorry about being racist before. I know better now. And the black kid says, okay, can you help me up there? No, can't do that. That would be fair. Do you get the metaphor? Oh, okay. Well, let's see if you get it. What's the ball and chain? What is that? Slavery. Very good. This is a 6-panel summary of American history. There it is. How did white, now, again, you don't have to buy this. You can say, but this is just the version of the person who made this cartoon. Okay? How did whites succeed? By taking advantage of black slaves. And then, when slavery ended, right here, affirmative action was suggested to help blacks get to where whites were. But some people say, no, that's not fair. It'd be racist. Well, yeah, but you're already where you need to be. Can you help me up there? Up there being successful.
How's that racist?
Well, because it's favoring the black person, right? Giving him help. I mean, did the white guy get help to get up here?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but right. Yes. You're right. Okay. All right. Are either of you ready to do your? No. Okay. A little more. How many of you are familiar with Brown v. Board of Education? Brown v. Board of Education.
Weren't they the first white public school to draft a group of African American kids and have to go to their school?
Very good. Okay, so not exactly, but you're on the right track. So 1954. So how many years ago was that? 64, 74, 84, 94, 2004, 2014, plus 5 more. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 65 years ago. Okay, Topeka, Kansas. That's the middle of the country. In Topeka, Kansas, there were schools for black students and schools for white students. They were segregated. If you were black, you went to that school. If you were white, you went to that school. Well, there was this one black family that lived fairly close to the white school, but they were black. And every morning, the dad would have to get up extra early to drive his daughter to the black school, and then he went to work. So one day he has an idea. Can my daughter just go to the white school? She can walk. So he goes to the school board and says, can my daughter go here? I mean, we live right over there. Can we go here? And they said, but she's black. No. So they said no. He sued him. He sued the school, and it made it all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court ruled in Brown v. Board of Education that segregation was not constitutional in schools. Okay? In schools. And you are correct in that what happened was that black students started attending schools that used to be all white, and some states in the South resisted. Okay, so this was the force it. So that's why it says that the states were forced to infuse it. And so what happened was the federal government said, okay, fine, we will escort with soldiers with guns black students into these schools. So I don't know if you've ever seen that cute little picture of the Marine leading a group of cute little black kindergartners. And he's just locked and loaded, walking into the cute little elementary school so they can play. Great. Okay. Final one here, and then we'll shift gears. I'm simply showing you some examples of attempts to end segregation. Anyone know who that is?
Another King,
Anyone know who that is?
that's our president,
That's a good guess. You're close. This is Lyndon Johnson. You're right, president, right? And so this is them shaking hands after the president signed this law, the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Okay. Well, let me ask this question before I tell you what it was. Okay. Can you, let's say you own a jewelry store downtown LA, right? And people are in your shop and they're shopping, and then you start to hear some crazy music, right? Some lot of 4-letter words in the music, and it's gang banging stuff, whatever. You stick your head out the door, and walking toward you are 4 black guys, and they got chains around them, and they're like, and you're like, good God, I do not want those people in here. So you shut the door and lock it and say closed. And they try and get in, and you say, nope, store's closed. And they say, well, what about those people that are already in there? Nope, you're not welcome in here. Okay? Can you do that?
they're banging loud music and you don't want that in your store.
Okay, you could argue that it wasn't the race. So then, let's say they do this, they say, all right, we'll put our music away now. Can we come
It's
in?
a stereotype, like what people wear and the colors they're associated with.
Can you do that?
With black people.
Can you do that? Can you legally prevent someone from coming into your store because you don't want black people in there, or Jews in there, or Muslims in there? Can you do that legally? How many of you say, don't worry, you're not being, this isn't a test, let's just see what you think? How many of you say, yeah, you can do that? You can do that legally. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't, just yes, it is allowed. Go ahead.
If you own it,
As of today?
Right now, right now,
are you talking if you own the store?
you own the store. How many of you say, yeah, you can do that? All right, you, how many say you can't do that? All right, very good. Excuse me. Hello? Hey.
Disturbing the peace.
Really? Okay, I'll set him now. Bye. Joe, you're one in the office? Everything's good. Okay. Right. Stay tuned.
This stuff.
What?
I like this. I don't know.
Joe, you're my favorite. You're my favorite.
I know.
Okay. This law banned any sort of discrimination in what are called public accommodations. This school, for example, cannot say no black people or no Muslims. The school cannot do that. It's a public institution. Okay? And again, not enforced by southern states. But again, the question I gave you was, well, can a private business do it though? Can the owner of Taco Bell say, we don't serve Muslims here? Can they do that legally? Okay. I'm not going to answer that question today. I will answer it. I promise. I will answer it. But just to throw out some more scenarios here, I think you've heard of this, some of this stuff before. So can an owner of a bakery refuse to serve a gay couple that walks in, right? And they're holding hands and they're looking, oh, that's a good looking donut. And can the owner of the bakery say, sorry, I don't believe in homosexuality, get out of my bakery? Can he do that? his bakery. He's the owner. Okay, or here's another one. So you go to Cub Foods and you're gonna have the biggest, most beautiful ham dinner. Oh, and you can put pineapple on there and little peppers, scalloped potatoes, you know. So you just take this ham, you put it on the conveyor belt at Cub, and you look, and the woman that is checking you out has a head piece of some kind, and she's Muslim, and she says, "I'm sorry, I'm not going to sell you that ham because ham is from pigs, and I, as a Muslim, do not believe in consumption of pork. I'm not selling you this." Can she do that? Can the person that owns the bakery refuse to sell to a gay couple? Can the owner of the jewelry shop refuse service because you're black? Can the Muslim employee refuse to sell you ham because of her religious beliefs? They're all sort of in the same thing, right? Can I refuse service because I find you offensive? All right, stay tuned. Oh, they certainly do try. Okay.
Please can't do that. There's no way. No way you can do that.
I don't know why, but I've heard this question many times and I don't remember the answer.
I'm pretty sure they can't.
Are we done with this?
I think actually a few times.
We didn't do the, which one?
I think we finished athletes last time.
I think we've done it.
We still geeks.
Why is it number 15 up here?
I have no idea.
What is this?
Yeah, it was there yesterday. I was like, okay.
That throws me out. Okay, so we did athletes.
Yep,
So we have geeks.
yep.
All right, so positive characteristics of geeks. Who are the geeks? I don't understand who those people are. The card players. Okay, the ones that slay your dragon with my wizard. And you can't do that because look who I pulled out of the graveyard. And there was like, ah! Okay, any positive characteristics?
I can be smart sometimes.
Sure, sometimes they're smart. Yep, sure.
Strategic.
Strategery. Yes.
Who's the group of them?
Yeah, that's a good question. Where was the group that was assigned this?
I think it was
Oh, of course it was. Go ahead. Creative, good. Good imaginations, right? Probably good at drawing ligers. What's a liger? It's a lion and tiger, bred for its skills and magic.
Isn't that real?
Ligers are real. Ligers are real.
They can't
They
reproduce,
are.
though.
No, they cannot. But they are real. They have successfully bred lions and tigers now.
But they,
I don't know. I don't know the scientific explanation of why it's right. So when you combine, what is it? When you combine a horse and a donkey, you get a mule, and mules cannot reproduce either, right?
They cannot.
Right. So it's the same idea, right? When you crossbreed, they're unable to perpetuate their own.
I think it actually has a chance of being either or of the previous ones. I don't think it can be a mule again.
I think it's because they don't have enough genes to make another.
So, something. Okay. Anything else positive about geeks? How about some negative stereotypes that are out there?
shut-ins,
I don't know what that means.
introverted.
Introverted, right? They're not exactly involved. Anything else? Not necessarily athletic. Which right? That doesn't mean you're a bad person. It's just you trip over your own 2 feet sometimes. Okay. Kind of cut themselves off, right? They're not exactly part of the school culture. Maybe. Okay. Very good. There's a step 2 now to this. So I do need you to get back into your groups. So go ahead, get back into your groups and take your stuff with us. Okay? And go ahead and move the desks. That's fine.
Imagine how horrifying it would be if humans crossbred with a different species.